Welcome to the Schtick. I'm your host, Matthew Seth Ostrov. We have a very special guest all the way from Atlanta, Georgia, home of the Peaches. Please welcome actor Edward A. Doyle.
Matthew, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Not a problem. How's the weather in Atlanta?
It's finally getting better. It's basically raining every day for what seems like to have been the last 3 months, but that's springtime in Georgia. Now it's just going to get hot.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, so I don't know if you followed the Canadian news, but we have wildfires in Manitoba.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, okay, so we had to evacuate about five different First Nations people.
Mm.
Thankfully, we do have US coming support. We do have the US firefighters coming to our aid. I don't know if we have like because fires happen every year,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we knew what happened in LA in the Palisades, and that was a tragedy.
Oh my God.
And oh my God, and then it put a lot of actors on hiatus, I would imagine.
Yes.
So we have bombers going 24 hours right now. The people are safe. They're staying in hotels. This is not the first time that we've had to do this. This is as bad as probably our flood in 1997 in Manitoba.
Oh
I
wow.
had to sandbag that one as a young guy in school. And so that's where we're at. But we've been really hot in the summer, plus 35 degrees Celsius.
Oh wow.
We just got rain today for the first time.
Thank God.
Yeah, and snow and like the smoke was coming in and I use an app called IQ Air, which
Mhm.
basically tells me what kind of pollutants are in the air. So and we have some films slating right now, another Hallmark getting ready to go, and then we have John Travolta coming here with Manny Patinkin
Cool.
for November 1963.
All right.
So what happened to JFK? We're filming that here because our you've been to Quebec, you said, but you've never been to Manitoba.
No, never have. Never
We
have.
almost resemble like Chicago or New York, our city,
Okay.
because we have very old, like the CN building that was built for the railway, the hotels, uh,
Hmm.
uh, all of our hotels that we have downtown kind of resemble the Chicago look in New York, so they can
Right.
film here cheaper. It's about a 50% tax bracket, like
Aha, there it is.
and that's why LA comes here because it's just more affordable. Yeah, so I was telling you like last winter, 2 winters ago, we shot the best Christmas pageant ever, which was Dallas Jenkins' Baby. He waited
Right.
28 years to get the rights to the movie. After he
Wow.
made The Chosen on Netflix, then he got the rights to the movie. She liked it. She
Awesome.
sadly passed away about, I think, 2 years ago, the writer of the best. It was a book,
Hmm.
and he got that. So I got a chance to meet him as well
Cool.
and to promote it. Levi and I, my son, were a featured background. We sat behind Pete Holmes and Judy Greer. I've never met Judy in my life.
Right.
Pete Holmes is a comedian. He was really funny. He dropped his wedding ring. I made a Lord of the Ring reference, and then that was that. And then that's what I've been doing since professionally since December.
Cool.
Trying to do as much as I can, as I
Yes,
told you, to get into our union locally here. And then,
absolutely.
which brings my question in your acting life. So when you started, how did you start? What was your motivation first? And then how did you get going? And how do you keep going?
My motivation has always been from here. It has to be part of who you are. It has to be. It's a spark inside that just wants to explode. And that's been that way all of my life. And I started going that route, and then I got married, and we had children. So put the dreams aside. You have to take care of the family, and I worked for corporate America, all of my life, made sure that my kids had the home and the things that they needed. And they're all grown up now. So about 3, 4 years ago, I actually said to them, "Hey, you know what? Would you think your dad was kind of crazy if I decided to go after those dreams that I put on hold and go back into acting?" They were like, "Dad, no, you always tell us, follow your heart, do it, do it." So I actually needed to find a way, back in, and I found a wonderful actress who was my coach. She's my mentor. She's actually become my best friend, and her name is Lana Young. She's an actress from Bermuda. She's been in all kinds of TV shows and movies, and the last movie that she was in came out last year. I believe it was last year, called Jazz Singers Blues. It was done right here in Atlanta. Tyler Perry. That was one of his pitches. And she kept saying to me, "Ed, do it, do it." And I was like, well, I'm getting older now. She says, "So what? So what?" She says, "Do you still have the want inside?" I said, "Yes, I don't want to act. I have to act." And she said, "Well, there you are. Do it." And so I went back, took some more classes, some more workshops, did some background stuff. Then I started doing a lot of indie stuff for free, just to get back on the set again, to get your acting chops back going again. And when it's part of who you are, it just comes back.
Oh
It's
yeah.
never, it's always there. And because of that, and because of the great people that I've studied under over the last 3 years again, and then I found a fantastic agent in Florida back 3 years ago. She got me some commercials. She got me a couple of small little roles in TV. And she kept saying to me, Ed, if you want to do commercials the rest of your life, stay here in Florida. But um, she says, you're a great actor. You need to move to Atlanta because that's the new Hollywood. And
Hmm.
so I took her advice. We packed up a year ago, last April. We sold a house in Florida. We bought a new house here about 30 miles south of Atlanta in Locust Grove. And I've got a brand new agent, the Avenue Agency, which is a fantastic agency down here. They're in Atlanta, Miami, and Nashville, and they are just amazing with the talent that they have. And I was lucky enough for them to find me and say, "Would love to sign you." And it's like, "Let's go."
That's
So,
great. That's
yeah,
great. And that's how you find your agent. Yeah, I'm still
that's it.
waiting for I'm just still taking acting classes.
Yep.
I've taken three so far and then doing the background route like you did. And then I'll try to get into the indie stuff too, like the short films, the university stuff.
Yes, they're
Some
important.
some for free.
Yep.
And we have good acting coaches in Winnipeg. My great friend Michael Strickland, he's an actor. He has like 30 years of experience. He has
Mhm.
his own acting school. He went to Vancouver Film School, so he's kind
Yep.
of my mentor buddy. I used to work
Yep.
with him in like different type of roles, but he's
You
who I
always have
I,
to have a
I
mentor.
call and we kind of like encourage each other, and that's the way that buddies do in the acting world. And then I see the same people on sets, and you make friendships and other
Yes.
actors who actually come in background.
Yes.
Yeah, so we talk to them and what they recommend and who they recommend to teach. And I meet acting people. I took one of my classes, met an actor who was in a Hallmark, took his
Right.
class, met him on
Right.
set. And that's
It's
how just
all networking.
that's how life. Winnipeg is a lot smaller than Atlanta because
Mhm.
we're a lot smaller than Toronto. We have really good crews working and we can handle all the films coming.
Nice.
We're just not a booming center yet in
Yes.
Canada. I mean, we do have some studios that we built,
Hmm.
and there's a big one coming in Niverville, Manitoba, and I look forward to your visit if you come here. I can
Yeah.
show you around.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Uh,
the film.
Definitely.
We have a lot of talent here. They're just not like A-list Hollywood, type. But you have to start somewhere, and
Absolutely.
right, we have
Absolutely.
no international film festival yet, which is kind of my dream to start one, like the Toronto International Film Festival. We start one in Winnipeg, which is an ongoing project. And then, yeah, I mean, we just keep on going on, going on. So
Awesome.
throughout your film career, some memorable ones that as an actor that kind of strike your heart, I guess. Which ones would those be?
Well, I have one that is actually, I can't tell you a lot about it, because it will be premiering in 2026.
Wonderful.
But I can tell you that I play a grandfather, and this story surrounds a grandfather and his grandson. And that has to be probably one of my most memorable because there are so many feelings throughout this movie. You're going to laugh, you're going to cry, you're going to be shocked. You may be a little scared in some spots. It's quite a film. But I got to work. They say never work with kid actors, jokingly, because they'll always upstage you. But let me tell you something. Working with Noah, he brought something out that, what can I put? He brought something outside of me that just was supernatural almost, See, I wish I could tell you more. It's so tough to talk
I
about
mean,
this,
that's
but
really neat because it's the kinetic energy of humans
yes,
connecting with other humans, and you can learn a lot from what you said with children who bring a younger you out. right? And
Yes,
then you act differently through. Are you more method actor?
I am more of a method actor. Yes, I am.
Okay, so then you would adjust to his energy,
Yes, yes,
and then that's how you have the chemistry with the little guy, right? As a
absolutely,
grandfather.
absolutely.
No, that's the brilliance of film
Yes,
between older actors and all different generations,
it is.
is that you can make that connection. Do you
Yep.
find it easier to, and I always, because I'm more extroverted, it seems like you
Yep.
are too. Do you find it easier to act with extroverted people rather than introverted?
Um, Depending on what you're going to do, for the most part, I would say yes, because I don't need to draw out from somebody, that um tends to hold their feelings inside. I like somebody I'd rather have somebody go be working with somebody to say, okay, back down just a little bit there. Yes, absolutely. Somebody who, but what it comes back down to is the experience of the actor. What type of actor that they are. Is it somebody, that is going to play again? It's did they if you are not a little bit more of an extrovert, I think you will have a tougher time than somebody who is more introverted.
Right.
Um, you cannot be afraid to let people see who you are and your secrets and your feelings, and what makes you tick. And those are the people that you definitely work easiest with because you get to feel their energy, not hear it, not just respond, but you will feel and become one with that other actor, you know?
Hmm. Yeah, no, I can tell you this is exists even in background when you're doing background
Yes,
work. The chemistry that you make with other actors when you're interacting with them makes a big difference even in the scene,
absolutely.
even in the scene for
Absolutely.
a director. Now, have you always been an actor? Have you bounced into writing, producing, directing yet?
I have a series, TV pilot series in the works, screenwriter. It's a comedy, action hero type of film that I'm working on. It's almost done.
Cool.
I hope to get some backers to get this thing put to film sometime next year or the year after. It's kind of a passion piece for me.
Well, that's good.
So,
And that's your first one that you're doing?
yes, this is my first one. It's something that I've had an idea of and toyed around with for probably the last 4 or 5 years, especially with the onset of all the Marvel superhero movies.
Oh yeah.
I'm now, don't get me wrong, I love action movies. I love the Marvel series, the DC stuff. But I love comedy. And so my idea is to blend the two. So,
Okay. And then, so some movies that you've done, are you doing mainly what type of roles are you playing in all the movies that you've done or TV series? Are they quite different from a part?
you know, they've done varied. I will be doing a short film next week, as a matter of fact, it's going to be probably the silliest role I've ever done. Now, I love to be silly. I love to make people laugh. I have and I'll, your listeners, your viewers can check this out if you want. I have a TikTok channel called Red Hot Ed,
Okay.
and it's all about Frank's Red Hot sauce.
Oh,
It's my
cool.
favorite hot sauce. And I am over the top with just the goofiest stuff that you've ever seen. And I've always been, back when I was in school, I was the class cap. Yes, I sat in the corner with the dunce cap on because I was constantly clowning around when I was in elementary school. But um, so I have a role coming up that we're shooting next week, to where I get to bring that Ed out.
Oh,
Uh,
cool.
and I am thrilled because it's the first one that I get to go that deep into. Because most of the stuff I've done detectives, I've done the politician, I've done a doctor, the doctor roles. I've even done a fight referee role. So, they were all kind of dramatic. This is the first one that I get to really jump into, where I bring out the funny Ed, and I am so thrilled about that. Yeah, it pretty much dramatic, maybe a sense of humor here and there, kind of dramedy type of thing. We just had a private premiere showing for another TV series. It's called Going Postal. You'll hear about it very soon. Came out amazing. The writer of this was just amazing. Cinematography, the acting, everything is fantastic. And I play a doctor in this series, and I'm kind of a very dry comedian in this. But this other piece, I can't tell you the name of the person I'm going to play, but yeah, this is over the top silly,
It's
more
okay.
Benny Hill style.
Yeah, no, that's awesome that you get to go into your comedy. Have you
Oh,
have you have you gone any time into stand up?
I did stand up as an amateur, years
Okay.
ago. We had comedy club when I lived up in Rhode Island. There was a comedy club on the east side of Rhode Island, and I did stand up there. And I love doing that stuff because I love, off the cuff. I love having a plan, but I read off people, and that's where my comedy comes from. As a matter of fact, now I was a singer-songwriter for years. I did,
Right.
I was in a band, I was in a duo, I did solo artists for a lot of times. And there was one club I used to play all the time, and we used to do a comedy music section. And it would be just that. I would have people throw ideas and names and situations up at me, and I would do musical comedy. And it was hilarious. I mean, it was just people loved every bit of it. That's where I'm most comfortable because it's coming from just inside. It's just my goofy view on the world. I look at it this way, the world is a mess. Everybody, every day, you turn on the radio, you turn on the TV, you pick up a newspaper, you pick up a magazine, you go on a social media site, and it's constantly driven in your head. This is going on, and this bad thing's happening, that bad thing's happening. It's like, yeah, yeah. I'm not saying you can escape it, but you don't have to live in it.
No, of course not.
You
Yeah.
can stop for a second and enjoy what's still out there, what's in life. And that's what I try to portray to people. And, I do that too. I try to inspire a lot of people to do what comes from their heart. And I tell them, don't listen to the naysayers. Don't think that you have to be strapped to all of this stuff. If you have it in here, believe in yourself. You can do it.
Oh no, that's a good message for
Smell the
sure.
roses. It's out there. Go after it. Just keep trying, keep believing, and always remember only quitters never make it.
Right.
Because the minute that you quit, the next day probably would have been your big break. But how would you have known? Because you quit,
Of course.
you know?
Yeah, I follow it's a Johnny Depp quote.
Yes, yes,
And it's like I follow him the most, and he said, "Don't care what people think about your dreams, just do what you want to do what you love. Don't look back. There's always going to be criticism.
yes,
As
yes,
as
yes,
an actor, everyone's going to criticize everybody. You are
yes.
a human. You have emotions. Just display them. Do what you love. Yeah, exactly what you said. Use your heart. Never quit. And yeah, I don't. I'm working on my first screenplay as well. I'm writing a movie for the first time
Awesome.
in my life. I'm having fun doing it. You dream. You have to be the actor. You have to be the female. You have to be the male. You have to
Mhm.
make the communication between them. So I'm having fun doing that. I'm
Yeah,
dreaming up different things. So I mean, I'm having the
yeah,
experience through that, and then it's raising money for the movie, just like what you have to do for your passion
yes,
project.
yes,
Same
yes,
thing. So what
yes.
recommendations would you give like actors entering right now at a younger actors or any actor? What kind of advice would you give them?
I have a few pieces of advice, and on my Instagram site, my Instagram handle is I am Edward A. Doyle, and I have some things on there, and there's one thing that makes me furious, and that's the scammers and the thieves that take advantage, especially of the younger actors that have a dream and they latch onto that to steal from them. That infuriates me. So I try to guide people as much as I can. Investigate. investigate, learn, look people up. You're going to have so many people hitting you from the sides. The minute that you start to advertise your name out there that you want to be an actor, or you want to be a writer, or you want to be a singer-songwriter, whatever the case may be, the minute that you make that public, the vultures are going to come. And
Wow.
I always tell people to remember one thing. It's an old saying, but it's absolutely the truth. If something seems too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true.
Yeah, I remember when I first started, I was getting text messages from weird things,
Yes.
Instagram from weird things,
Give us $500 and you'll be in a movie with an A-list.
yeah, backstage.com. I think that one's real, but I
Well,
mean,
Backstage is good. Let
yeah.
me tell you, I've gotten a lot of stuff off Backstage. I encourage people to go to Backstage because that's a great place to get started. And Backstage investigates the people that post things on their site for looking for talent or whatever. They look into their background. And I've gotten warnings from Backstage that says, hey, please disregard this. We've looked into them. We believe this is a scam. Backstage is very good. Once you get going, you're going to want to go to Actors Access. That's your mainstay for professional actors, casting networks, same thing.
We have
But
we have casting workbook in Canada.
yep,
That's what a lot of the Canadian casters are using. Actors Access too. We have to have both.
yep,
And then if
yep,
we shoot, it's hard to go shoot outside the border, for us as
right,
Canadians, because we
right,
need we need 0-1 visas, which is like a super extraordinary alien actor like Ryan Reynolds, like that kind of person
right,
to get there. And it's
right.
to go to LA, for example.
Right,
I'd like
right.
to just visit. I have a younger brother in San Diego. I will visit La La Land one day and
Yep.
see what it's like,
Yep.
to meet the people.
I've been in LA. I actually filmed an episode with Jay Leno, for the TV game show You Bet Your Life with Jay Leno.
Cool.
And they flew me out to Los Angeles. He is the most real, down-to-earth person you ever want to meet in your life.
Nice. So speaking of that, so who have you worked with out of the acting world that you really connected with, and you became friends with them, I guess, throughout. Did you make friends
Uh,
with other
oh,
actors, and who did
oh
you?
yes, absolutely. Now here's the thing. Making friends is definitely a thing. And um, his how do I want to put this? You take somebody like Keanu Reeves, the real people, not the ones with the attitudes that I'm an A-list actor and don't come near me. You're only a supporting actor. You're a day player. I don't want to talk to you. What is
Mhm.
this day player? What is this background person thinking they're doing, having a conversation with me? And unfortunately, there's a lot of people like that in the whole world, never mind just in, the film industry.
Mhm.
But the people that are real, the people that want to do it, the people that, like I talk about, where it has to come from inside, that those are the people that you find are the most real people, the people that are just down to earth. Um, Perfect example, when I did Limestone Gumption, that was with Monica Parker, who, I don't know, do you ever see the TV series Defiance?
Yeah,
Okay, well,
Defiance.
she played Bailey for 17 episodes in
Yeah, I
Defiance.
know her. I know her.
Okay, so you know her. She
I
did.
like her.
Yep.
Used to got to work with her.
I worked with her. We still talk all the time. I mean,
That's great.
it's just she's you become the acting goes away and you just become like family. It
Mhm.
becomes family. So yes, you do make friends, and I've made some long-term friends. Another person that he goes by, his stage name is actually Cowboy, and that's, even if you look up Cowboy on IMDb, that's his name, Cowboy. But Smyrna, North Carolina. And he's another one. He played the pastor in that film, and we've become best of friends, same type of thing. So yeah, you do become friends, and those are the people that you really cherish them because you're not always talking about acting or whatever. They're like, my son just graduated from high school, and it's like, would you like to come to the party? It's like those are the real people, and those are genuine people,
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. I look forward to meeting those type of people because
Oh, they're out
then you
there.
have a genuine connection with them.
Yes, 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 yes. Yep, they're out there.
And who else have you worked with that you really remember, a good connection or a good chemistry with on set?
Well, I'll tell you somebody who now he's not my friend, but I wish he would be. But another talk about great chemistry. I did a commercial for Epic Games
Oh,
for
cool.
the game Fortnite. And
Fortnite.
it was the one that had Shaq O'Neal in it, where they released a new skin with Shaq on it. And I played a janitor of this office building where Shaq comes crashing through the ceiling and stuff. Nicest guy you ever want to meet in your life. Honest to God, he just absolutely I mean, he's worth millions of dollars. Everybody knows Shaq. But just down to earth, you sit down and have a conversation like me and you are having right now. Of course, a little intimidated because he's so damn big in front of you.
Hmm.
But him, who else? Who else? Am I trying to think who else that I've had that kind of magical relationship with?
Or directors or working with a director that you
Oh,
connected with and
I'll tell you, that's another thing. Talk about directors. So I'm not going to pronounce his name right because he's from the UK and he's got an Indian name. But if you look him up, he's a director for the Corner Shop in LA. He's the one that did that commercial. He was the funniest guy you ever want to meet in your life. Now I've worked with some directors that are like, yes, sir. Okay. Yes, sir.
right.
He was amazing. He was like they wanted me to come out dancing with a broom and stuff like this stuff. And he's like, yeah, come on, Ed, you can do it. It's your birthday. Come on, let's go. I mean, he was just the funniest
Just more
guy.
encouraging.
Yes, encouraging and make you relax. And those are the people that make it more fun. It's always fun to me, even if you're working a 14-hour day and you're sweating and it's 98 degrees and humid out. At the end of the day, when you leave and you get back to your hotel room and you go, "Oh my God, that was a blast." Well, that comes from the people that you work with. It comes from the director. It comes from the crew. I make it a point whenever I'm doing anything, I make it a point to meet everybody on the crew, the cameraman, the gaffers, the everybody, no matter who they are. And I always go up afterwards and I always thank every single one of them because they work so damn hard, and they get maybe their name and a credit at the end of a film, but people don't recognize them. So me as an actor, it's like you guys were amazing. You guys were magical. We
Hmm.
could never do this without you. And I always make sure to do that. And then they look at you and they come back to you like, oh, thank you so much. And it's like, and you relax that conversation. And again, it makes it all the whole picture just so much fun that way. So yeah, a lot comes from you. What are you going to do? Are you going to recognize the people? Are you going to listen? Are you going to? I mean, I've been on films where I've been a supporting actor. It's like, oh man, you guys need a hand moving those lights. It's like, no, 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 no. Thanks anyways. But you know, that's the way that I am. You know,
No, and that's the way that my acting book told me to do it too. And my
yes.
friend Michael Strickland also told me make sure you talk to everybody on set. And funny
Yes.
enough, I talked to the sound guy
Yep.
on one Hallmark I was in, and the next Hallmark he remembered me.
There you
And
go.
that's a
Hey, let me
connection
tell you,
because you talk to
it's
the
a
crew. Yeah.
yes. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of actors, and everybody trying to make it or whatever. But it's the ones that do that leave that one thought, and they go, "Oh, I remember you. That. Oh, yeah. How you been doing?" That's part of it. That's part of it. Be real. Don't ever think that you're better than anybody. Don't ever think
Oh,
that,
of course. Yeah.
you're just this. I'm this. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah,
Um,
no, I agree with you, and I enjoy talking. I meet all the other background. You know,
yeah,
we filmed the last Hallmark. It's a Magical New York Christmas, and I spoke to some of the actors during our takes,
yep,
and I encouraged them like, "Way to go, man! That was awesome." That was a
yeah,
British actor.
yep,
Jessica Sham was in it, and I can only when we were wrapping up, I can only think of one thing, and I said, "So sweet," and she said, "So sweet back." And
yeah.
that was our communication with each other. But I
But
mean, as a background, you know, you're awing these people that you've seen. She was in American Pie. I mean,
yeah,
I grew
yeah,
up watching these movies, and you're seeing them in life. And
yep,
we shoot a hell of a lot of hallmarks in this city.
yep,
We pump them out, believe me.
yep. I believe it. I believe
Just
it. My wife has probably seen every single one of them.
it's it's why your president wanted them all come back to Los Angeles because Canada has, yeah, Winnipeg has like a 50% tax bracket, so that's why they come here. And it's the same director who's a wonderful director,
Right.
who gets contracted to film all of them, and he's a very quick, not like what you explained the director for the commercial was like.
Yep.
He's more serious,
Okay.
but he jokes also. They all have different
Nice. Oh,
personalities,
yes, they do. Yes, they do.
right?
Yep.
But I look forward to meeting you one day in life.
Me too. Absolutely.
If you come to Winnipeg, it's the home of Winnie the Pooh. A lot of people, Americans don't know this,
I
but
did
that we
not.
in the 1960s we had the National Film Board of Canada in downtown Winnipeg, and like Snow White was in the diner in
Right.
Winnipeg with the black hair. So they
Okay.
filmed here. Roger Rabbit was created. Winnie the Pooh is from the forest. An actual fireman saved the bear. So we have Sherwood Forest here. We have Assiniboine Forest in Winnipeg, dedicated to Christopher Robin.
That's awesome.
And then Disney hijacked them. That's
Oh,
what
no.
happened. Well, no, that's what happens, you know, when you have your animators in
Right, right,
Canada
right, right,
in the
right.
60s, and you can watch videos of the past here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as I watch like old shows like Leave It to Beaver, because my dad was raised in this one, I'm thinking, can I produce this thing in color?
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
to go to wear my producer hat. And I'm watching the show and I'm like, can I make this come to life using Hollywood actors? Can we
Right,
bring
right,
this show back to TV?
right,
That's kind
right.
of one of the show that that's in my like bucket list if I can do
Yep.
it. And he's still alive, the little guy, the beaver.
Oh, I know. Yes, yes. Oh, I know. I know. From time to time, I read an article about him, or I'll see him on social media or something like that. But yeah.
So those are
As a matter of fact, the guy that played Eddie Haskell just died just recently.
right. I saw
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
Because we're doing a Little House on the Prairie. We're doing this one. I imagine that will be followed by Lassie, and then we'll do Leave It to then we'll do Leave It to Beaver. I mean, it's all up in the
I
Winnipeg is
love
it's a
it.
magical little place where a lot of dreams can come true for
Yes.
directors come here.
Yep.
Because they get their first stops in here. They can, and a lot of people who visit from LA, they really love the city. And
Awesome.
yeah, because they don't know, they've never been to Canada before. And
Right,
it's
right,
not in -30, -40. It's in the summer where it's +30, 40.
right,
Because we have an 80-degree temperature change.
right,
We're in the
right.
heart of Canada. We're in the middle. We're right above Minnesota.
Yep. Yep.
So if you ever come and visit, I know you've been to Quebec,
Yep.
but if you come down here, we'll show you a good time.
Sounds great. Hey, who knows? Maybe we got a location for my
Yeah, for
comedy
your
series that I'm writing. So.
exactly. That'd be amazing. And then you can hire all the people here and then bring in
There
your
we go.
people
Hey, if the
from
tax
Georgia.
incentives are that good.
They're that good because that's how we attract. And if our dollar's lower, that's
Right,
usually what attracts the American film.
right, right.
And then our city, like Winnipeg's very friendly. Like our whole entire province is very friendly and accommodating.
Hmm.
So that's what you'll notice the most,
Cool.
the people.
Awesome.
As you
Awesome.
go to each Canadian city, they're different.
And see, that's what I love. I hate being a tourist. It's like I want to meet the people. I want to feel the culture. That's traveling to me,
Yeah.
So that sounds awesome. I'm gonna have to tell my wife, hey, dear, we're gonna be
We're
doing a
going
trip.
we're going to trip. Well, thanks so much. It was wonderful to talk to you today. I wish
Been a
you the
pleasure.
best in your project
Thank you very
to
much. Thank you.
fruition. I think it's your little baby that you're working on, and
Thank you. And I wish you the best too.
thank you
This
so
is
much. Thank you so
yeah,
much. And as actors, you know, we love to talk to other actors because
yeah,
we can feed off each other. I
yep.
get to, and I wish you the very best in like what you want to do and what you accomplish in life. Your heart's
Likewise.
in it. I can sense that. You know, like most actors, comedians and actors are different, but I'm
Yeah.
who I'm interviewing. But I can sense that you have your heart on your sleeve. You're in
Yes.
the right direction. You have a good relationship with your agent. I'm
Yes.
still I'm still waiting to meet mine, but I guess
Yep.
it comes in time, right? And you have
It
to keep
comes. It
going.
comes.
And
Don't
yeah.
don't rush it. Don't rush. Don't get discouraged.
No, of course.
That's the main thing.
No, I'm optimistic outlook for everything I do, and I feel alive when I'm on set,
Yes.
like a different person. Like of all of actors, they say they feel alive when they're on set. You make friends, you make contacts. I talk to all the crew. I like makeup and hair the best.
Yep.
I mean, they're special women.
Oh,
You
yes,
know,
they are. Yes,
like
they are.
that's where I feel at home the most. Then I go to the gaffers, then I go to the lights, then I go to the cameras. But the makeup I talk to first. I tell how their day's going. They can tell me, it's like sitting in a hairdresser booth. But I
They're gonna
mean,
make you or break you too, so be careful.
oh, of course, because having long hair, they always put you in a man bun with like 8 pins, and then you have like the eighth hair product going. But enjoy the rest of your week, Ed. It
Thank
was
you,
fun.
Matthew. Hey, listen, now that you have my contacts or whatever, you got any questions, you need some advice, you
Oh,
want some,
sure.
reach out. I'm here. I'm here. So
Awesome.
most definitely
I
anytime.
appreciate that. And eventually I'll come down to Atlanta. I've never been there.
Oh, you'll love it.
So, yeah, you moved from Florida to Atlanta, which is quite a
Correct.
jump in temperature
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and
It
people and culture, I would imagine.
yes, yes. I'll tell you though, coming to Georgia, you do have the Southern hospitality. It
Oh no,
is,
I know. I've
oh, it's
seen
amazing.
video. I've seen videos.
Amazing people.
But thank you for being on the show. It
You're
was
welcome. Thank you for
wonderful to
having me.
connect you, and good luck with everything you're doing. God bless, and all is good. And that this was Edward A. Doyle, actor, professional. Thank you so much for listening to the shtick, and then we'll be on another one with more actors hopefully in the future. Thanks, everybody.